Okay, on numbers 1 through 4, you are saying, yes, they have rigid motion, or no, they don't. And then you're explaining why, because it says explain. So, on these, number 1, rigid motion means it stayed the same shape and size. Yes, it moved. It's going to move on all these. But did it stay the same shape and size? Number 1, did it? Yes. So, yes, there's rigid motion. And you would say, stayed same shape and size. Stayed the same shape and size. So, I'll help y'all with number 2 as well. Number 2, does there appear to be rigid motion? Did it stay the same shape and size? No. So you would say no. And what would your explanation be on this one? Did not stay, or it got smaller. The same size. Okay, there's not rigid motion. Do the same thing on 3 and 4. 3 and 4 are the same answer. Here's number 5 and 6 again. What you're going to do is you're going to say, okay, this is my pre-image. So they told me to pick a point or an angle. I picked A. And what point goes with that on my new image? A prime. So I said A and A prime. All right, then part B says list all the pairs of corresponding sides. So AB goes with A prime, B prime. Then I would say BC. What does BC go with? B prime, C prime. Okay? Oh, I already did that. And then I would list my last side. AC goes with A prime, C prime. That's all they want you to do. Yeah, so absolutely. You could do CA, and it goes with C prime, A prime. And then you would do number 6 like that. Okay? And then are we ready for number 7? Okay, but I'm going to do my example from my book. Hold on, let me pause this and get my paper. All right, they give me this triangle, right? And they called it triangle PQR. Oh, they did label it. Hold on. No. They call it triangle PQR, all right? They want me to transform this, move it. Do y'all see this letter T right here? That's what that means. So they want you, I know you will see some of this on the EOC, possibly ACT, but this means you're going to transform it. And they tell you where to move it. This is an X value, and this is a what? Y value. That means this goes left and right, and this goes what? Up or down. Now, they want you to name the vertices and then show the transformation. To me, it is just easier to take each of these points and move it. Where am I going to move them? Am I going to go to the left or the right? Why am I going to the left? It's negative. Am I going up or down? Because it's what? Negative. So you're saying I'm going to go to the left 2 and then where? Down 5 with each point. So watch this. I'm going to take this point right here and I'm going to go to the left 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and down 5. Okay? And then I would go right 2, or up if they were positive. I'm going to take my point Q and I'm going to show you this 2 different ways. To the left 2 and down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then what am I going to do with point P?
So we do it to all the points.
Yeah, because your shape needs rigid motion. Your shape has to stay the what? The same. You have to do that with all 3 points so that nothing happens to it. And then I would call them, I guess I would call them R prime, Q prime, and P prime. This is now my image. That was my pre-image, and this was my image. Okay, now what they want you to do is to name your points. So like R is at -1, 3, yeah. Q was at 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And P was at over 2 and up 1. I can't see that. Now, they wanted you to name your points, and then they wanted you to say, okay, that one goes to the left 2, and that one goes down 5. So basically what they do is they'll say -1 minus 2 and 3 minus 5 to give you your new ordered pairs. Does this make sense? So instead of us, we're talking about going left, right, up, or down. They make it to where, well, let me just put those numbers together. -1 minus 2, it's just moving it to the left. And then with the 3, then what? Minus 5, and we get our new points. That would be -3, -2. Where does this point at? -1, 2, 3, -1, 2. Okay, they are just showing you the math steps. I don't care which method you use. Let me show you again. If I start at point Q, which is at 3, 3, that means for my Q prime.
Do we have to write all these down?
No.
Oh, wait, I don't have to write any of this down.
You can just draw your new image. I just want you to see what they're doing. So they're going to say that's 3 minus 2 and 3 minus 5, which gives me 1, -2. And where is my point at? Over 1, down 2. Does this make sense, y'all? Another way to think about it, what they're doing. Because our problems may get harder. Okay, so I want you, we might end up having to do this.
Could I grab one of Riley's study guide?
Yeah, let me pause this for a second. Hey, I think I've got your papers in there as well. Do you want to see if they're in there? All right.
Sorry, I like to have
Special treatment. Okay. P, I wrote my ordered pair for their P. It was over 2 and up 1. And I'm just showing you that I can, to find my new point, I'll take 2 minus 2, and then 1 minus 5, and it would give me 0, -4, which you'll notice is my new point. So you can do the math and like subtract or add like it tells you each point. Or you can just, the way that I think of it is I'm going to go to the left 2 and down 5. I'm going to go to the left 2 and down 5. And I'm going to go to the left 2 and down 5. And that's my new image. I mean, it just depends also on what it's asking. Number 7, does it ask you for any of those ordered pairs or numbers or anything? No. All number 7 is asking you for is graph your new image. Where do they want your new image to go?
under the given.
Did I do that right?
Left 1 and then what?
I think you did really good. Up 4.
Up 4. Left 1 and up 4. All 3 points. Where's number 8 taking you?
You're going over 3, up 3.
Right 3 and up 3. All 4 points. If I were you, like, I like colored pens, so I would do them in a different color. It doesn't matter though. Anyway, do number 7 and 8. They just want you to graph your image, the new image, on that same graph. A little bit more to it. Okay. Now the next part they're saying, what's a rule that describes this translation? So I'm going from P to P prime. So I need to see how far over and down I went. Okay, and you're also going to consider, like, are you going right and left and up and down? So I'm going to start at P. So I'm going to the right, so that's going to be a positive, what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I went to the right 8, and then where did I go? Down 1, hold on, where am I? Down 1, 2. So right 8 and down 2. How would you write that? You're going to use T
Over -2.
and then 8, 2. Now let me show you how they write their answer.
Not with
Yeah, so look, you're going to write that I did a translation because it was slid over. And then you're going to write 8, comma, -2. Does everybody see that? That means to the right 8 and down 2. And then we have to name our image. What was it? Let me see. They use letters P, Q, R, S. That's your translation rule. I would write P, Q, R, S. That was our object. That was the name of it. We took this pre-image and we moved it where? Right 8 and down 2. Does that kind of make sense?
So that's how you want us to.
Yeah, I'll do another one.
So you want us
This
to
is a
just
different
write-
one.
Just do like number 9.
No, because y'all are going to do number 9.
Oh wait, so the dash line
And
is a
10.
pre-image. So we go to.
So, yes, this one says the dashed line, is the image of the solid figure. So you're starting at your solid figure. You have to read your directions. So you start at your solid figure, which its name on your sheet is going to be ABCD, right? And now figure out your translation, which will be written like this. This is what your answer on number 9 should begin to look like. Okay? And it tells you start at your solid figure, and where did you go?
I got -3, -4. Is that what you got? Yeah.
Wait, why you got the T right there? Which is the T?
That means you're translating it. You have to write that because in the next lesson, we're going to use an R. An R is not the same type of movement. Okay, today is translations, the reflections. I think our next class is reflections. Let me see. Yes.
Okay, so would we go alphabetical order? So the U, V, W, X, Y?
Oh, wait. On number 10,
Yeah.
yeah, I would go in alphabetical order. U, V, X, Y.
Wait.
No, U, V, W, X, Y. There is a W. And you start at the solid figure and you're going to the dotted figure.
Yeah.
So that's 1 through 10 that y'all have done. On the back, you can go ahead and do 17 and 18. Okay, because we've already done that. Y'all have already learned that. So 1 through 10, 17 and 18, and then I'm going to look at a few more. Yeah, that's the same as 7 and 8.
Wait, so how do we label our thing?
Huh?
How do we do the shape again?
Let me see. On number...
Number 10.
Oh, on number 10, like how do you would write it UVWXY. So on number 10, it's going to have some type of translation of UVWXY. You'll just have to figure out what is this translation from the solid figure to the dotted. Y'all can think about this before I just tell you. Number 11. You are visiting Washington, D.C. from the American History Museum. You walk 5 blocks east and 1 block south. So, y'all, I would start to draw like a little picture. So, I would say, let me start at the museum. Okay, and I'm going to walk 5 blocks east. So, I'll just make little marks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 1 block south. And here is the Air and Space Museum. And then it says, then from there, you walk 8 blocks west to the Washington Monument.
Are you writing something right there? I can't see it.
Y'all can't see what? I drew this little dot, and then I drew right here. Where I went down 1. Y'all still can't see that? Can y'all see it now? Okay, so then it says from here, you walk 8 blocks west. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now I'm at the Washington Monument. I'm going to call that Washington Monument. Where is the Washington Monument in relation to this American History Museum? That's the American History Museum. So it is down 1 and the left 1, 2, 3. But they don't use words like down 1 and to the left 3. They would say like what, south 1 block and west 3 blocks. Does that make sense, y'all? Like that's all. Just draw a picture. This, it's really just kind of seeing where you would be on a map. Okay, so I would put the Washington Monument in relation to the American History Museum. I would say it's south 1 block, and I would say west, what do we say, 3 blocks. Or if I was doing a transformation, I would say left 3, down 1. Like it would look something like that. I don't know how they want their answer. Let me see how they want their answer.
Like that. You want it like that.
They want it 1 block south and 3 blocks west. the first way I did it.
I don't know my directions.
Well, they were already, like, look, this was kind of silly what I drew, but it was just kind of to let me see when I went right, left, down, or whatever. And so I was trying to go from here to here. Or you could have had a graph. Like, if you had a graph stamp or graph paper, you could have just started somewhere and shown. Huh? What'd you say? Okay. Now, number 13, think about this one. If you have this translation and you go from PQRS to your image prime, okay, you would go to the right 10 and up 15. What if they wanted you to go backwards and you started here, you started at this image and went to your pre-image? Where would you go?
Negative.
Yeah. I just told you you're going backwards. If they wanted you to do this backwards, then it would say your translation would be -10, -15. That's all they were looking for. That translation. And it would be PQRS prime to PQRS. If they wrote that backwards. They just wanted you to think about that. Then your last one, this one they don't give you a picture. They want your coordinates. So I want you to think how you would find your new coordinates. It says these are your pre-image coordinates. But then they want you to go where? To the right 4 and up 7. What are the new coordinates for Y and Z? I would just write them right underneath here. Here's your Y. Here's your Z. So I would take Y from these points, and what would I do with these two numbers?
You would subtract them. Or add them.
You would add them because you're going to the right and up. So you would just say, what's 1 plus 4? 5. And then the other number in my Y is 4 plus 7, which is what? 11. So that's that one. Does that make sense, y'all? Okay. Now try Z or Z prime. They want you to go from 8 and 9. And you're going to add the 4 and the 7 to them and find your, this is the last thing y'all are going to do. Y'all can study the last
What is,
7
9
minutes.
7?
What is 9?
16?
Mm-hmm. Always one less than if it was a 10.
Alright,
We are done. You can turn that in. I'll start grading and y'all can have 7 minutes to study.